Imagine traveling back to ancient Babylon, a magnificent city that was a center of civilization, science, and culture. But today, we are not here to talk about kings or wars. Let's take a closer look at the daily lives of the people of Babylon. The houses of Babylonian people were usually made of mud bricks. These bricks were carefully crafted and sun-dried, making them both affordable and suitable for construction. The houses were simple yet functional. Most houses had a central room that served as the main living space. Alongside this, there was a small courtyard used for cooking or keeping small animals. Some homes had flat roofs, which were used for sleeping on warm summer nights instead of staying indoors. The streets were filled with small shops where their owners traded goods from dawn to dusk. These shops often offered essential items like bread, oil, and pottery. Most of the people in Babylon were farmers. Agriculture was the backbone of Babylon's economy, and the Tigris and Euphrates rivers were vital sources of irrigation for the fields. These rivers were complemented by complex networks of canals and irrigation systems, which were unparalleled for their time. Farmers grew wheat, barley, dates, and various fruits. However, life in Babylon wasn't solely centered around farming. Skilled artisans played a crucial role in the economy by crafting jewelry, textiles, and pottery. These artisans sometimes created highly intricate and beautiful designs that were even exported to other lands. The bustling markets of Babylon were filled with merchants trading goods such as grains, oil, spices, and even luxury items like ivory and gold. These markets were not only places of commerce but also hubs for cultural and intellectual exchange. The lives of the Babylonian people were deeply intertwined with their religion and beliefs. They believed in multiple gods, each responsible for different aspects of life, from agriculture to war and love. Temples and ziggurats were the spiritual heart of the city, and grand religious ceremonies were held there. Ziggurats, which were a type of temple in Babylon, were not just centers of worship, but also symbols of the connection between heaven and earth. They were constructed with mud bricks, and their upper levels were often reserved for priests and religious rituals. Despite the hardships of daily life, Babylonians found time for leisure and enjoyment. Religious festivals were opportunities for celebration and joy. During these festivals, people played music, danced, and enjoyed delicious food. Games like early versions of backgammon and chess were also part of everyday entertainment. These games were designed not just for fun, but also to train the mind and strategic skills. Babylon was also a center of science and education. Special schools were established for the children of the elite, where they learned reading, writing, and mathematics. These schools were often held in temples, and clay tablets served as textbooks. Students spent hours mastering cuneiform scripts and solving mathematical problems. Astronomy was another highly advanced field, and Babylon was recognized as one of the most important centers of astronomy in the ancient world. Babylonian astronomers meticulously observed the movements of stars and planets and created accurate calendars for agriculture and religious ceremonies. In addition to astronomy, medicine in Babylon was quite advanced. Babylonian physicians used herbal remedies to treat illnesses and were familiar with basic surgical techniques. Life in ancient Babylon was a blend of challenges and achievements. This city was not just a center of power, but a place where people lived, worked, and dreamed. Perhaps this is why the name Babylon has remained iconic throughout history. The city of Babylon, with its temples and ziggurats, was vibrant and alive, not just because of its grand structures, but because of the people who lived their days in a balance of toil and hope. These were the people who, through their labor and ingenuity, built a city whose name is now woven into myths and legends. The Roman Empire is often remembered for its monumental achievements, its emperors, and its military prowess. However, beyond these grand narratives lies a world of ordinary people living their lives in an extraordinary civilization. Let us leave aside the stories of conquest and power again to explore the vibrant daily existence of Rome's citizens, uncovering the routines, challenges, and pleasures that defined their world. In ancient Rome, housing varied greatly, depending on one's social class. The wealthy elite lived in grand villas adorned with intricate mosaics, marble columns, and lavish gardens. These homes were designed to impress, with spacious atriums and dining halls where the wealthy entertained guests. On the other hand, the majority of the population resided in insulae or apartment buildings made of wood and stone. These structures were often crowded and prone to fire, yet they provided affordable housing for the working class. The lower floors were more desirable, as they offered better access to fresh air and water, while the upper floors were cramped and less stable. The streets of Rome were bustling with activity, lined with markets, workshops, and food stalls. Vendors sold everything from fresh bread and olives to exotic spices and perfumes. The Roman marketplace, or forum, was not just a hub of commerce but also a center of social and political life. Citizens gathered here to hear public speeches, conduct business, or simply catch up on the latest news. Beyond the forum, craftsmen and artisans played a crucial role in the economy. Blacksmiths, potters, and textile weavers worked tirelessly to produce goods for both local use and trade across the empire. Agriculture remained the backbone of the Roman economy, much like in Babylon. Vast estates, known as latifundia, were owned by the wealthy and worked by slaves and tenant farmers. These estates produced grain, wine, and olive oil, the staples of Roman life. However, small-scale farmers also existed, cultivating vegetables and raising livestock to support their families. The Roman diet was simple yet hearty, consisting of bread, cheese, fruits, and occasionally fish or meat. Street food was popular among city dwellers, with stalls offering dishes like pools, a porridge made from grains, and fried fish. Religion was deeply ingrained in Roman society, influencing nearly every aspect of daily life. The Romans believed in a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each overseeing different elements of the world and human experience. Temples dedicated to deities like Jupiter, Venus, and Mars dotted the cityscape, serving as places of worship and communal gatherings. Household worship was equally important, with families maintaining small altars to honor their household gods, known as lares and penates. Festivals and public ceremonies were frequent, featuring grand processions, sacrifices, and feasting that brought communities together. Leisure and entertainment were integral to Roman life, offering a reprieve from the demands of work and daily routines. The Roman Colosseum hosted gladiatorial games, where combatants, often slaves or prisoners, battled for the crowd's amusement. Chariot races at the circus, Maximus drew massive audiences, with fans passionately supporting their favorite teams. Theaters presented plays, while public baths provided spaces for relaxation, socializing, and even conducting business. These baths, equipped with heated pools, exercise areas, and libraries, were a hallmark of Roman innovation and culture. Education in Rome was a privilege primarily reserved for boys from affluent families. They studied subjects such as rhetoric, grammar, and philosophy, often under the tutelage of Greek scholars. Girls' education was usually limited to domestic skills, though some wealthy families provided their daughters with a broader education. Despite these limitations, literacy rates in Rome were relatively high, with many citizens able to read and write, thanks to widespread access to public inscriptions and documents. The Roman Empire was also a hub of technological and scientific advancement. Engineers constructed aqueducts to supply cities with fresh water, while roads connected distant provinces, facilitating trade and communication. Medical knowledge was influenced by Greek traditions, with Roman physicians practicing surgeries and prescribing herbal remedies. Daily life in the Roman Empire was a tapestry woven with contrasts, opulence and poverty, tradition and innovation. While the empire's grandeur was built on the labor of many, it was the resilience and resourcefulness of its people that truly defined its character. From the bustling streets of Rome to the tranquil countryside, the legacy of Roman life continues to inspire and fascinate to this day.